He's Ross Tucker, Westwood One CBS Sports NFL analyst and host of the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. You can find him on social media at Ross Tucker NFL. Should they have thrown the flag on the play with Kadarius Toney, Ross?
Absolutely. Yep. I'm actually really surprised, Dan, that Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are complaining as much as they are. I mean, we still haven't had anybody say that he wasn't offsides. like Mahomes is kind of like, yeah, but it was such a cool play. It's a shame that they had to take it away. And Andy Reid's like, I usually get a warning. Like, what are we talking about? Andy wants a warning. Mahomes just wants it to count because Kelce made one of the most ridiculous plays I've ever seen. The guy was offsides. And somebody has to have it. Dan, I'm guessing CBS has it. Like, I want to see like 20 seconds before the snap. Because you know how the protocol is now, right, Dan? I know you know this, okay? The receiver, they're either on the ball or they're off the ball. If they're off the ball, they look over and they they look at the side judge and they're like, I'm off. And a judge will be like, okay. If they're on, they'll be like, am I good? And if you're offsides, the side judge will help you out. Like, those guys try to help you. They'll say, move back a little bit. No, okay, now you're good. Like, that's what happens. So, I'm seeing some people say, well, Kadarius Toney checked. No, he didn't. I mean, he didn't follow the whole procedure, because if he really asked the guy, he might have just said to the ref, I'm on, and pointed that I'm up on the ball. Yeah, no kidding, Kadarius. You're not on. You're so on, you're offsides. You got to look at the guy and make sure you're okay. It wasn't even close.
Now, official won't jump in and say to him in the moment, like, you have to ask for confirmation from the official. He wouldn't say to Toney, hey, 19, back up. Does that happen?
No, because he's in the slot and the side judge is pretty far away. And it's not the side judges or line judge, whatever. It's not their job to make sure that you're okay. If you look, they will help you. They don't want to throw the flag. They actually give you like a decent amount of gray area. Although, because of the brotherly shove this year, Dan, they've made it a point of emphasis. Because of what happened in the opener with Jawan Taylor at right tackle being too far off, and because of the brotherly shove, and they don't like it, so they're trying to figure out ways to change it, and they don't want the offensive line for the Eagles all up on the ball, they've made that a point of emphasis this year like I've never seen before. So it's even more of an onus on these line judges to make these calls. And it was the right call. It's a shame. I mean, nobody wanted him to be offsides. That would have been one of the awesomest plays we've ever seen. It stinks that Toney lined up offsides.
I mentioned this to start the show. Kadarius Toney doesn't have to be offsides. Like, he doesn't have to be even pushing the envelope, because his part of the play, if it was designed, is to be back, from Travis Kelce. So he's really kind of stopped. He's in a neutral zone there, neutral area. I don't know why he felt the need to get out. And if he was going to the end zone, then I get it. But he wasn't. He probably went down 10 yards and sort of stopped. And then Kelce got the ball. But I don't know if this was a designed play or not. What do you think?
That's a really good question. I think it was built in to the play, but I don't think Kelce just did that on a whim. I think it was built in as an option or a possibility. I'm actually surprised, given the fact that there were multiple defenders around Kelce, that he had the guts to pull it off and actually throw it. It was amazing. Yeah. One thought I had watching that, Dan, I feel like on some level, this will be the next thing in the sport of football. Like we had the Chip Kelly, hurry up, and, there's always like the next thing, the zone reads, the RPOs. Someone smart and creative is gonna, and it's not gonna be all the time. It's not gonna be, but they're gonna have a couple plays a game where they're gonna have built-in laterals like this, almost like built-in hook and ladders, and have some success with it. Why wouldn't you try that, especially if you're a lesser team?
We're talking to Ross Tucker, Westwood One, CBS Sports NFL college football analyst. He was on the call of Army Navy on Saturday. Doesn't matter where they play. That atmosphere, they bring that atmosphere when they bring in the cadets. And it was, and of course, you get down to a 4th and goal stop at the goal. I mean, it was awesome. It was wonderful.
Dan, it's my single favorite day of the year every year. I tell everybody, if you haven't been, you got to go. I don't know why, Dan, but once I get to the stadium, my chest is like this the whole time. I'm just like so full of pride and patriotism the entire game, seeing every cadet, every midshipman, the energy they bring. I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they rig the game or what, but it comes down to the last play every year. It's unbelievable that it comes down to the last play every year. And it was just a fantastic, fantastic day. Highly recommend. And you know what's crazy? I don't know if you didn't know this, but they were telling me before the game, it was the second highest ticket in the history of Gillette Stadium. The last thing I had seen on my app on my phone, it was $787 was the cheapest ticket to get in.
Wow.
The only more expensive ticket, more than any Patriot game ever, any AFC Championship game, the only more expensive ticket was Taylor Swift in the summer. So the two most expensive tickets to Gillette Stadium in the history of the stadium, supposedly, are Taylor Swift and the Army-Navy game.
How much trouble are the Eagles in?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think they're in that much trouble in the sense that their schedule gets a lot easier now, and they have a month to kind of figure this out. So from that standpoint, we knew they were having a tough stretch, Dan, and I said at the start of it, 3-2 would be great if they went 3-2. It's weird, though, because they won the first 3 and lost a lot. Like, if they flipped it, you'd be feeling good about them right now. They beat the Cowboys, they beat the Chiefs, they beat the Bills, but now these last 2 losses and the way they've lost them, I think they'll figure out the red zone stuff on offense. I don't think they'll fumble 3 times in the opponent's territory. The defense is concerning. The defense right now, the D-line's not as dominant as they need to be. They have issues on the back 7. It's going to be weird because there's a pretty decent chance they win these next 4 games. They go 14-3, and does that mean we feel like they fixed it or that they solved it, or does it just mean they played the Giants twice and the Arizona Cardinals, and we won't really know until they go against the Cowboys or the Niners in the playoffs again?
If you had to pick today between the Cowboys and the Niners, best team in the NFC.
Oh, Niners. Yeah, the Niners. I mean, I give the Cowboys a lot of credit for the way they're performing. They're doing a heck of a job. But the Niners, they blew the Eagles out. And I know the Cowboys won by 20 points, but I mean, A.J. Brown had a ball in his hands in the end zone. Devontae Smith had a ball in his hands in the end zone. The Cowboys kicker made 2 60-yard field goals. The Eagles fumbled 3 times inside the Cowboys' 40-yard line. Like, that game could have been more competitive, could have been closer. And I think the Niners are going to have home field advantage. So they only have to win 2 home games to go to the Super Bowl. I think the Niners are the best team in football right now. And I think it's probably by a decent margin, but we'll see who stays healthy. We'll see how they're playing at the end of this thing.
And then the Zach Wilson story. I get it's just, this is reality TV. Because reality TV isn't really reality TV because it's scripted. What Zach Wilson, the Jets, the whole story, the leak, everything, teammates, and then you're going against C.J. Stroud, and then, yeah, of course, he's going to throw a couple of touchdown passes and look awesome here.
Yeah, and then, I mean, I would love to see, like, what some of his prop bets are for this next game. You know what I mean? Like, because there's some people that are going to think Zach can do it again, and they're gonna be part of it. There's a lot of people that think, nah, I've seen this movie way too many times. He's going to come crashing down. Give me the under on the Jets and whoever they play in the next game.
Great to talk to you. Safe travels. Thank you, buddy.
Always. Thank you.